Welcome to the Souls in the Simulation podcast. We're your hosts, Devin and Angie, and today we have Jackie as our special guest. And so this podcast provides an alternate view on life after death, processing everything that's wrong and possible solutions on how to get it right in the afterlife. Hi, y'all.
Good. Hello, everybody.
So for today, we're going to be doing a review of the movie The Nines and it has Ryan Reynolds in it and Melissa McCarthy. Um,
I come for all the Ryan Reynolds movies.
right.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll probably have you on for other even stuff that may not even be a movie. So we're so thankful you came on again. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. And so would either one of y'all like to give us kind of a brief summary or rundown of the movie?
Well,
Did
Angie,
you?
you've seen it way more than I have, so please.
Yeah, 25 times you said it. Yeah.
Yeah, since it came out, probably this yesterday was my probably 25th time watching it. So essentially you have Ryan Reynolds and Melissa McCarthy and a woman named Susan. These are going to be your excuse me. Um, these are going to be your primary characters with a few incidentals. Sorry, my throat's kind of giving me issues here. So basically, what these individuals um, kind of experience are three different lives and three different characters. And it's kind of confusing at first, and I should probably point out, good grief, that they're basically um, I lost my train of thought here. Um, it's almost like a one lifetime ends and another you're right into something else where there are different people with different names with different jobs and their relationships to each other are different. And so if you haven't this isn't one of the more popular movies of Ryan Reynolds and Melissa McCarthy, so there's going to be spoilers, but essentially what you find out is he's basically the god, not the god, but he's a being. Like basically, that's why the movie's called Nine. So you have if God is the ultimate, then these beings like him are nines. And so you have the blonde character Susan, Sierra, and what was the other S, Stephanie?
So we had Susan, Sierra, and um, Sarah.
Sarah.
Mhm.
So she's also a nine, a being. And her and some two other characters are there to try to bring him back home because he's become obsessed. So much so that she tells him if he doesn't quit cold turkey, he'll spend 1 billion years trying to perfect the pine cone, right?
Mhm.
So, but basically he's gotten lost in his own creation and they're trying to get him to come back home. But he's worried about, you know, well, if I leave, um, what'll happen. And he's developed attachment, right?
Yeah.
To the Melissa McCarthy character. And so you have that component to it as well. But I wanted to point out at the beginning, you see as the credits are rolling at the start of the movie, he's weaving like what looks like a friendship bracelet with the green threads. And he has it on in every one of his lives in this during the movie. And I took that to what it reminded me of oh, there's the zodiac coding,
Yeah.
right? There's the webbing, there's the knots, there's just the whole creation of that. Because he had it on in everything, and then when he snapped it off, it ended the world.
It's
Remember?
so weird that color grading in so many movies. Like you have the Matrix coding in
Yes.
the background. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm such a dork. But the Avada Kedavra spell is that green. Like if you really look, that green is meant to be like death and I forget what it's like death and something else in almost every single movie that color green is used in. I found it really strange that it was green. I was like, ooh, interesting. Is this like symbolizing death? Like I didn't know what the movie was while watching it. But
Right.
now I'm like, oh, is it trying to tell us it's like death webbing, like this death threat? Like, I don't know. It just that green
Well,
was
and if you think about it, the Green Man is an entity that is in pagan religions and Wicca that is reverenced and followed. So you have that too,
yep,
right? Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah, in a simpler context as well, you could just think of it as like the weaving and the webbing of him in these 90 different um alternate realities that he's created with, this woman and the deaf child. But um yeah, yeah. I wanted to read a quote real quick because we kind of talked a little bit about the nines, and kind of pull this quote from the movie about all the different numbers for all the different beings in the
oh yeah, I
world.
was just gonna,
Oh
oh
yeah,
my
were you
God, I
about
was
to?
just thinking about the koalas being
Yeah, that's what I
eights.
was gonna
Yeah.
read. Yeah, okay, so the quote goes, it's Gary, the main character, he's saying, he's talking to Margaret, and he's saying, are you saying I'm God? And she says, technically no. If God is a 10, a theoretical ultimate, that which no greater can be imagined, you're more of a 9. And he goes, okay, so what are you? And Margaret goes, humans are 7s, monkeys are 6s.
Mhm.
And Gary goes, well, okay, what are 8s? And she goes, koalas, they're
They
telepathic,
control,
plus
they
they
control
control
the
the
weather.
weather.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Isn't it interesting though? But she never tells us what she is.
You know, she said she's a 7 because she's human.
she's a human. Yeah, I read that towards the end she could have almost kind of transformed into a 9 because she was given like more control over the best output
That's
of her
true.
reality.
Yeah.
So he could have given her like the power to evolve maybe. But I just assumed she was um a human that he just really became entangled with.
But don't you
Is
guys
it
find it fascinating that the whole, okay, so we're watching a movie for the nines, watching a movie. Every aspect, every character within this is somehow affiliated with with another movie. And what I mean by that is Ryan Reynolds in the first, he's the actor in a show. The second one, he's the writer and director and creator of a show of a different show that he wants to bring to a network. And then the third is the actual show itself that Ryan Reynolds wanted to bring. All of it's fiction, though.
Yeah.
yeah.
All of their lives are fiction. They're playing fiction. I don't know. What did you guys think of that? I thought that was interesting. Like
Definitely.
it's telling you it's all bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that as well. In every single world, he was creating that fiction, some sort of fiction.
Within a fiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
See? And so
It's almost like he got to play a different part of that script he was given. Like, oh, this time
yes.
you're the writer, this time you're the actor, this time you're the director, or whatever it was. I was just like, wait a second. Like, this could be alternate realities where he plays those specific parts that he wants to play. Like in Jumanji, you got to choose, oh, I'm going to be the pilot this time, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were all interwoven. They were all kind of stacked on top of each other. The actor went into the scriptwriter's house while he was away. I forgot his
Mhm.
name. And then, the game guy, that was the story the scriptwriter was like creating. It was just so kind of stacked into each other and intertangled.
I think
Yeah.
that's why it took me a few watch throughs because I was like, wait, there's something greater happening here, but I'm so confused. So it took a few watches to be like, what is actually going on here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, the first time I saw this when it first came out, that was one of the reasons why I watched it so much within because I was like, I don't, what the hell? Like, uh, and then one of the things I told you guys that I had gotten moved by the scene where he tells the Melissa McCarthy character she was his favorite. But then I was also disturbed because I was like, he, because in order for him to exist, unless it's simultaneous, like parallel universes, he's having to destroy worlds. And he does admit that at the end. But you're destroying and then just, oh, on a whim, I'm just going to create something new and put these people in it, and then just destroy it again. And I was like, that's that's probably when, about the time that I really started questioning all religions, and everything that I had learned at
Mm,
that point was this movie, and that reality, or that realization of, that's not, that's disgusting.
yeah.
You know,
It's just disgusting.
it's really interesting because you said he had to destroy worlds to create worlds. And in there, I think it's in there twice, Oblivio Aspetti or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it means oblivion approaches.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, what? That's crazy. Like it makes me wonder because he talks about playing games too, and he's like, it needs a reset button. Why is it better than real
Yes.
life? And he said he can't tell where the show ends and I begin. And I was
Yep.
like, all in that, like, I was like, wait, what? Like the truth bombs that he says, and it's in their monologue. It's really not seen. It's the monologue that really gets you. You're like, wait a second, what did she just say? I gotta rewind that. Like, it was crazy. But the fact that they kept mentioning this ending of oblivion, like, what does that mean? Like, I, I don't know.
You know what I took, how I interpreted that,
Yeah,
because
please.
this even goes back then, it's where, and then that point also to him saying, where do I end? Where do I begin within this story and all of this? Don't you think that to a point, like how I'm presenting myself to you guys, how you guys are presenting yourself to me, how we function in the world, that is not us.
Yeah.
It's a character. And so don't you think that on an everyday basis, we're already stuck in that? And maybe the oblivion part of it is just letting that go and realizing, I'm not this physical body. I am
Mm,
not this personality. I'm not even this name. I don't even know what my name is. I don't even know if I have a name. What would it matter?
yeah, agreed.
But we identify with this so much so that we kill each other over it. Your skin is black. I don't like you.
Mm,
You're a Muslim person. Those people are not Muslim. You're not a Christian. Not really. You are not even your name. And
hmm.
so maybe that's part of what keeps us trapped here, is and then you factor in the incarnation and how many lives and identities we've had, and all of that shit is defining us to the point where we don't know. We're in that space that he's talking about. And that's why, to me, it was a huge truth bomb, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's really interesting because the beginning of the movie, he's having this like he is like reaching the pivotal low of himself. But it's really interesting because it shows you how the Matrix traps us. Drugs, alcohol, sex, um, relationships, the job. He apparently, I couldn't figure out, was he like let go from being an actor? Did his girlfriend dump him? I know he was like setting fire to her possessions and stuff, but it also made it seem like he lost his job too because he was sequestered in this house. Like he was at the lowest of the low. And like, you know, it's really interesting because I have two teenagers, and the way they teach us to rebel, because we all have that rebellion spirit. I think it's in there. Like, I hate this place, but we don't understand that is to drink, to do drugs, to, sex. It's that form of rebellion, or that form of this is how I'm going to control my life. But it leads to addiction, death. You know what I mean? Like everything that we want to like rebel against is like so toxic for us. But here he is like drinking as he's driving. Like you're just like, oh my gosh, like this guy is losing it. But it's really funny. It just shows us how much we're entrapped by those things. Like it was really interesting that like the base human, these are the things they present to us to take our mind off things, to escape, to, fill the void or whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe we should
Yeah.
be going into that void instead of trying to escape it to begin with. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what you all think on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought, the beginning opening scene, and I thought that kind of symbolized the beginning of, like you're saying, an awakening journey. We could see that throughout the whole entire film, of this like transcendence, the different parts. There was part one, prisoner, part two, reality TV, part three,
Right.
designer. And instead, we could view it as like the stages to awakening, confusion, recognition, transcendence.
Mm, absolutely.
Yeah,
Really good.
yeah. So, yeah.
Well, and I thought before we started recording, you brought up the names, and because I really don't want to forget that. And I thought this was great research, or a great,
Yeah.
how you put that together. I think this is great.
Yeah, so in each of the different realities, the characters each had the same letter to their first name. So the main character, his it started with a G, Gary, Gavin, Gabriel. And we could see that as being God, the creator, representing the individual's consciousness, representing creator of their reality, their computer simulating the world, so to speak. And then we have the other main character who is the kind of like the antagonist, the blonde lady. And her names all start with S, which Sarah, Susan, Sierra could be seen as source, sun, Sophia, spiritual realm, or Satan, kind of tempting God more into to return to the spiritual realm. And then we have M, which was the Melissa McCarthy, Margaret, Melissa, Mary, could be seen as Mother, Moon, Matrix, material realm, or mankind tempting God to remain in our existence. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you could see that those each represent, they could also represent body, mind, and spirit, or pre-personal, personal and transpersonal stages of development. So,
Yeah, I
Wow,
thought that was
Devin.
great
yeah,
insight on that.
yeah,
It's really interesting when that um, Susan, Sophia, the S lady, that's what I'm going to call her.
It's
I,
like,
she's weird when you first meet her. You're just thinking, oh, she's bored or whatever. Like, she leaves her kid napping at home and just brings a little thing with her. Like, you're like, what kind of mother is she?
I know, right?
Right? But then, like, again, it took a few watches through that. I'm like, she sings a song, and you're like, why is she singing? That is so
Is
weird.
that all there is? Is that the song you're talking about? Yes.
Yes. But what's really weird? What's said to me is that her character is almost like your divine spark in a way that injects the weirdest things at the strangest times that is like, hello, wake up. Like, I think all of us could say there are things in our lives that were like, that made me question, or that made me wonder, that made me, think like there has to be a different answer. And that song, she also hums it, I think, in the third section,
mm,
maybe in the second, I can't remember, where you're just like, what is with that song? And you're like, wait a second, she's trying to smack him around, like, hello. But isn't it interesting how certain songs, how certain movies, like, make us question, where a normal person watching it who's not questioning, who doesn't, is just gonna be like, okay, that movie was dumb, or I didn't understand it. But like for those who are like us, like, well, what's this movie saying? You're gonna keep going back to the movie and watching it 25 times because you're like, what is it trying to say to me? What is this song? Why is this song stuck in my head? Why is this one phrase like a beacon to me? But I don't, she's a weird character, but I kind of liked her. But I was like, wow, did you go about that the right way? I don't know. Obviously, because he leaves at the end.
yeah, yeah. She did a lot of really um, intense things to shake him and wake him.
Well, and it makes
Totally.
you wonder, is like, is that why, like, I mean, not to make it personal, but even rewatching this, I was like, is that why I have MS? Is that why we, like, what the illness is and different things? Because she messed up his friendship with in the second one with Melissa by, telling him not to put her in the movie. And that was all her. You find out she didn't, the guy that they were, um, I can't think of his name, but he was like the guy behind it that gave the yes or no. He didn't even tell her that he had an issue with
Mm,
her being in the movie. So it makes you wonder, like, do you have to, is it us in different ways that we're blocked to where we have to be like, I don't know how to explain this because, you can, it'll sound new agey and I don't mean that, but I think that we can communicate with our spark, right? Like is that the thing that's like sometimes not that it's setting ill intentions, but because we don't wake up. If you're going about life smooth sailing, you're probably not going to get to where you need to be.
Why would you question if your life is?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think that that's playing a role here? That's why she was so subversive in different ways toward him because he wasn't going to, even after he's awake, he even tells her, maybe I could just check back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I don't think that's a good idea, right? Like I mean, some people say, and I don't know if this is true, that some souls are volunteering, trying to help everybody wake up or whatever. I'm telling you this, I'm not. Y'all are on your own. Not because I don't care about you, not because I don't love and not that because I don't want everybody. I'm not coming back here. This place is a shit. It's a shit storm.
Yeah.
I mean, our food is poison. You have to, if you want to eat healthy, it's expensive to do so, just to survive. So I don't know what you guys' take is on that. Like, do we have to be shaken to the core of our being to snap us out of it, you know, or do you think it's not really required?
You said something right there that I want to address because you hear it all the time. Is I volunteered to come back to help people, and it kind of makes me mad because the thing is, this place is so devious and it's so clever. Hands down, you kind of have to applaud it for the level of detail to keep us trapped in here is ingenious. It really is.
Mm.
And I think when you can respect the genius of it, then it becomes serious. You're like, oh, this is a serious journey. This is not just playing double dutch. This is not just playing. You're playing GTA on steroids, basically. I can't stand when people say I came back in here because I'm like, if you truly understand what this place is, why would you ever volunteer?
Yeah.
Because I think your divine spark is powerful enough. I mean, even in our own lives, to to put coding in there, to put songs, to be like, hey, wake up. And I do think our divine spark kind of allows things, not plans things, but allows
Right.
certain things to happen to get us at that point. I really feel like every lie we were told, like, oh, if you find the right person and have a family, you'll be happy. You get the house, you get the pets, you do the vacations, you get the right job, you keep climbing that corporate ladder. And anybody who's been asking this level of questions of what is this reality, every single one of those facets of life that this matrix props us up and lies in has been dismantled. Like even just the truth, oh, I'm going to have my body where I can go on vacations. Like Angie, you're living proof that the body is a lie. Like it can actually, you know, every autoimmune disease your body is attacking itself. How does that,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And I have different theories and ideas of why that happens, but does it really matter? The truth of I'm going to have a healthy body because I ate healthy my whole life is such a lie.
Well,
Even
you
if
guys, you guys know that, like, you're right because you guys, that there's a documentary on Netflix about The Biggest Loser and Bob Harper, who was one of the trainers. He's in shape, he's physically fit. He had a heart attack
hmm
a few years ago. It doesn't matter.
that beach body
Tony's talked
guy.
about this. It's not this body, like they want to talk about how miraculous the human body is. That's bullshit too.
Yeah. That guy who did Beachbody, Tony something, he was huge. He did like all those weight training videos and stuff. And he was at the pinnacle of health, and he's like, hey, just drink water, eat healthy. No joke, I think he got lupus, or it's either MS. Like, he can't exercise like he used to. He is an emaciated version of who he used to be. And
It's
it's,
because there's toxins here. How you can't,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Just aside from what you may genetically have that may, but we're exposed to stuff that flips switches in our genetics and then you're sick.
yeah.
Even if you do everything right, you can still end up with cancer or anything else. So you're to your point, your initial point, yeah, it's crap.
Yeah, and then to add to that, I think that a lot of illness comes from like dis-ease in the body, comes from your thoughts
Trauma.
manifesting and trauma, all of
Mhm.
that eventually will manifest physically in some form as well. So I mean,
I,
all the generational trauma we go through, it's just there's so many ways for us to become ill, besides us like having a healthy diet and all of that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I mean, I know because I'm sure you guys know and have talked about the memory wipe that, do you think that they're intentionally wiping memory or because our memory in life sucks anyway? When you have witnesses who go to report like a crime, the stories are vastly different and it's not even reliable because our perception is 99%. We don't even perceive, we perceive about 4% of this reality.
Yeah.
So is it really that they're wiping our memory or are we just, because there's been so much, it's just too much? I mean, has anybody reported as an NDE that they know that they've witnessed it or
Yeah.
it's just a theory? Or so what do you both say to that? Because you guys have kind of both been a part of this for a lot more actually a lot longer than me since mine's pretty recent.
No. So in past life regression, when we look at life between lives, the soul kind of being incarnated into the womb, they use hypnotic induction to tell you. So it's like they put you in this light tunnel. And as you're going in this light tunnel, you have this hypnotic voice telling you, okay, this is your name. This is what you're gonna be in this life. You're gonna do this, that, this, and that, and everything, like programming you. And
Oh,
then and then you remember it. Usually you're in the womb and you remember everything. And then as soon as you are born, and this is reported through tons of just different regression scripts, as soon as you're born and you are ejected from, your mother, bam, like you can't remember anything. And it seems, well, if you can remember a couple of things through the ages of like 0 to 3 or 4, you're going to forget it because your brain states are, being shifted and you're moving more towards into like a mature mindset, where you can't remember those things as well. But yeah,
I've heard of like toddlers or I know there was I think it was in like Iraq or something.
yeah.
He remembered he even took people like I was killed. These were my wife and by this neighbor that hit him with a bar. And he went and he was like found his wife and kids. So obviously this whole bit of like a lot of new agers will tell you, well, once a soul dies, like 3 to 5 years they're in this rehab thing. We're talking a few years.
Yeah.
Like I think within a year he was already back on the planet. So all of that crap that a lot of new agers talk about, you know, that they may not come back for 5 years, that's crap. They're back pretty quick.
I truly think they eat our memories as like food.
Oh, I've
Oh,
never thought about
wow.
that.
Because, it's really crazy. Not that I had such a traumatic childhood, but it wasn't easy at all. I'll just say it that way. Being raised by two narcissists kind of does a lot of traumatic stuff to you.
For sure.
But like, I cannot remember a lot of it. And my sister is so good at remembering stuff. She'll tell me, and I'm like, gosh, I had no idea. But when she tells me the memory, I can kind of get a little bit of it.
Mhm.
But I really think they steal your memories and eat them like it's delicacies, especially if it's a juicy one. Like, I remember I had a specific trauma in high school, and unfortunately, it was not a very happy trauma. Usually the typical male versus female trauma. That's all I'll
Mhm.
say about it. I had no idea. Like, I know it happened, but I could not remember anything about it. And it did take counseling for me to go through the memory, like, okay, that's what happened. Because I always blame myself. I was like, I put myself in that situation, and that was such a lie. But because I didn't have the memory, I could never go back to it and be like, I don't remember. Like, was that me? I think that was me. Like, I put myself there, like that whole stupid victim blaming thing. But it's crazy. So it's just a theory I have. I can't prove it, but I really think just in my own personal experience, not remembering stuff that clearly was traumatic, or, and my sister will tell me, oh, hey, this is what happened. Whether her memory is 100% on, the fact that that thing did happen and I don't remember it, like, where did that go?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's an interesting point. So we just took a little break, and we're coming back into the recording, and we were talking about different trauma. And so, Jackie, if you could continue kind of talking about, my question was, how do we break cycles even when we recognize them while we're in them? And she made a point about Ryan Reynolds, just the act of questioning starts breaking the cycle, right?
So, yeah, I should mention that many years ago, I was a counselor and a therapist. I don't do,
Oh,
Mhm.
um, and that is why there's a lot of value to it. I would always tell my clients, if you are still my client in 3 years, then I'm a horrible counselor and a therapist, because it's not me. I'm just giving you boundaries and giving you things to look at, a different perspective. But to break the cycle is to look at something differently. And this is the hard thing. This is how they trap you. And again, we go back to the genius of this place. And I don't say I respect the place, but it's so well thought out. You cannot look at something different if you're stuck in trauma. You
right.
can't. You have no capacity in your emotions, your mental, even your spiritual. Like, back then, before I did work on myself, and I did a lot more work outside of my own personal counseling that I got, because once you learn what you need to do, you could totally do it yourself. It's good to have other people's perspective, because sometimes we lie to ourselves, right? But questioning, just like the G character in here, he started questioning his reality, like, why am I seeing numbers? Why am I? And that was brings me back to another quote I really like, where the nines only showed up when he was actually looking for them. Like, he saw the little post-it note on the counter that was like, look for the nines, and he's like, wait, what? I'm supposed to be looking for stuff? But I think it's the same when you start to say, and I will tell you, I did not know I needed counseling until I had kids. They are such a good mirror, right? And I was like, man, I am angry. I'm short. And I never really yelled at my kids because I didn't like it, because that's what I grew up in. But I was like, why am I so angry? And it was that question that started this path. And here I am. Oh my gosh, 19 years later, my oldest is 19. I am such a completely different person. But it was the initial question. Most people don't question their behavior. That's who I am. It goes back to the whole zodiac. Well, no, I'm a number one in my numerology, so I have to be these things. Instead of saying, oh, okay, yeah, I've got some determination. I've got some, you know, fortitude about myself. I'm a go-getter. I'm independent. Instead of saying, okay, those things are great, but oh my gosh, I'm a Gemini in the contemporary astrology, and we're flighty, supposedly. And I was like, gosh, I am kind of flighty a little bit, but how do I not be a flighty person? Oh, I got to show up when I say I'm going to show up. Not that I ever did that before. I was so paranoid about being on time and stuff, but like, I was kind of flippant when it came to, I don't understand what that means, whatever, like, but other things. But how do I not be that person? How do I be my word is my word, a person of integrity, which is very opposite of Gemini in some ways. So you take that blueprint that they gave us and say, okay, these things, like, I agree. I see myself. I don't see these things, but there are some things that, oh my gosh, it is a mirror to me. And I don't want to be these things. I don't want to be flaky. I don't want to be angry with people. I want to see somebody's perspective. So I think asking the questions is the hugest step, because most people won't.
And you think that you can, from that point, you can then change, because like I know Devin has said, even with people, like sometimes you have to kind of just accept people because you can't, and which is true, you can't change it. You
No.
can't change people. But I find that yes, I can accept the fact I can't change people, but God, they piss me off. Whether it's a doctor sitting in front of my face trying to tell me something that I'm like, you don't, you're telling me stuff about an illness you don't know anything about. Quit acting like you know something when you don't.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know what causes it. You don't know why the drugs that you're giving help some people. And there's even a question of that. Is a drug doing it, or maybe the person's disease action quit? Or it's my favorite is when you call anybody in customer service today for
Oh,
anything. I'm convinced every NPC on the damn planet is working in customer service. If it's not AI, when they answer the phone, you're getting an AI NPC person who could care less.
it's
Just to
crazy.
get your cable fixed, like,
You go to the bank and you're like, okay,
oh man.
like why? And this is even 10 years ago. Like, it's your bank, your money is here. And they ask you, well, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I don't know what I needed at the time, but I couldn't get it at the ATM. I had to come inside. And you're like the world's biggest criminal because you're coming inside and you couldn't use the ATM. And I'm like, but this is why you're being paid. So I could come in here and, get my services, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I find that when Devin had made that comment to me, I think I even told you, Devin, at the time, I was like, that's so hard. Like I can accept people. I can talk to people with different views. But and kind of like your brother, Devin, but once you start doing where you're not paying attention to me, you're not actually there, or you're doing stupid shit. I or people, I love it when people intentionally push my buttons. I have people in my life that do that too. They know damn well the thing that they're saying is, and then I get mad at myself because I'm like, oh crap, I reacted to that because I
Yeah.
couldn't catch it in time. But at the time, I'm like, and this is going to sound awful, but it's like at the time, I'm like, if I could just conk you into the wall with your head, not kill you, but just so you would shut the fuck up for 5 minutes and let me have a minute without being bombarded with like, and I don't know. So that was when Devin told me that about sometimes you have to accept people where they're at. And I'm like, I get it because I haven't been perfect. And I know that. I know I have my own faults and flaws. And I readily admit that. But what I'm finding is a lot of people in my life don't. They don't admit to any of it. They think they've got things figured out, or they know why they're doing stuff, or that they don't have to do any work, or they don't have to,
For real.
or they're oblivious. And I'm like, you know what? Like, and that's where I'm getting, the more that I'm going down this path, the more and more I'm seeing most people don't get it. They don't get it. And our systems don't get it. They're completely, for example, I don't know how things are in Arizona, but here, if if you need assistance with somebody coming to your house to help you because you're disabled, in Texas anyway, the real nice agencies you have to private pay for.
Yeah.
Okay, the other agencies that are willing to take what the state's willing to pay, and they pay, we're talking about like $9 to $12 an hour. Who's going to work for that when you could go to Chick-fil-A where they do drug testing? These organizations don't drug test. You know why? They wouldn't have anybody work for them.
Yeah.
So the system, so how are you expecting people, like I've been left, people not showing up for work, people not, we don't care. We don't, the system itself doesn't care about your mental health, about your health care. I'm sure you have children. I'm sure it's very expensive to have them covered on insurance. Devin, you've got a daughter. Do you think they give a fuck? No. If you can't get your kid medical coverage, oh, too bad. Too bad, Jackie. Sorry for your daughters. Too bad for you too. Hope you don't get an illness. Oh, Devin, I'm sorry. Yeah, too bad. Can't afford it. Too bad. And
You
you
know,
could be working and
yeah.
still not be able to afford it. that's what we're living in.
Yeah, we are. And I think that's so on purpose for this time. But I want to go back because your question and us answering made me think of the beginning of the movie and how he went back to rock bottom, but was using porn, was using drugs and alcohol to kind of numb. And I think that's what most people do. And
Hmm.
again, TikTok is now, I mean, people could get lost for hours in TikTok. And instead of saying, why did that person dump me? Why did I lose the job? They go to, oh, I'm so miserable. I'm going to go drink
Hmm.
like whiskey, which he called it demon liquor, which I thought was hilarious. But like, there are so many opportunities that this place will offer you instead of asking that question. And I am reading, well, actually rereading Howdy Mikowski's second book to this Exit to the Cave, and he talks about this emptiness where you get to this point where everything we've been asking, everything you've been searching has not come. And I think Olna, I love this part of what she said in her interview last
About
time,
the collapsing.
the collapse.
Yeah.
Exactly. And how sometimes the collapse doesn't come all at once. Because Howdy says that in his book, it's like this one collapse, but Olna said it comes in multiple stages. And that's how I feel it has happened with me, where every pillar that this world religion, nope, got ripped from me because it was hollow. Like the perfect family, the perfect house got ripped from me because it's false. It's all these false systems. And if you're not asking the question, who am I? What's going on with me? You're going to numb out because it's painful. It hurts. But I think, again, we go back to asking the question like, and that lady, the S lady, I forgot what her name is in the first scene, Sue or Sarah or something. She starts singing that song to be like, remember who you are. Who are you? Like, it's almost like the divine spark again is like fishing with us, like throwing out information. Are they going to take the bait? Or is she going to ask the question? Oh my gosh, she asked the question. What are we going to go? Where are we going to send her now? And even though, and you've mentioned this many times, Angie, where you've spent so much money on these books and these courses, it still gave us answers, even if it wasn't the answers we were looking for. Because we
Sure.
could be like, dang it, that didn't work. I'm so stupid. I spent so much money on that. But you know what? And as Howdy Mikowski says, sometimes finding the false is even more valuable than finding the truth because you can let that thing go completely.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so instead of beating ourselves up like dang it, we shouldn't have done that course, we shouldn't have done these things, you know what, did you learn something? Whether or not it helped you progress, at least you could let go of something. Like I don't have to question that anymore. That's a completely dead issue.
Yeah. That makes sense. For
Yeah.
sure. But the collapse, or or as the how he puts it, all of that it does suck. And I think I'm definitely going through one now. I mean, this,
I'm so
especially, well, like you also been through it, I'm sure when you guys started coming to this in the beginning, it's not, it's just hard. That used to be a comfort, that whole idea, oh, there's a God out there that has my back.
right.
Right? Or the whole, you guys remember footprints in the sand?
Hmm.
Such bullshit. It was a nice thought. Like, oh, I'm going through all this hard stuff. Jesus is carrying me.
Yeah.
No, no, he's not. Those are
No.
my footprints, and I'm dragging. I feel like, and I'm sure we all did when you go through it. You feel like you're dragging your corpse,
Yeah.
because it's hell. Like this place, I really do believe is some sort of, I mean, even the food, right? Even fast food. It tastes. Think about prisons. Everybody in hospitals and prisons where they say the food is horrible. The
Yeah.
only difference between those places, food, and fast food is the taste.
Yeah.
Fast food, I think we were talking about doing an episode on food in the prison here, because the stuff that I'm seeing, like, they're using the same oil that's a week old to fry your French fries.
Yeah.
And it's seed oil too, which we're not supposed to be eating to begin with. but now you're eating an oxidized burnt oil,
Yeah.
cancer, autoimmune, you name it. So your very food, the very thing that you need to live on, which is, and the place is selling it to you,
And that's a key.
are prevalent.
Why do we have to pay for food and water and shelter?
Oh, yeah. You guys know that the president of Nestle says that water shouldn't be free. It's a commodity. And even land, I know I'm going to get flack for this, but you guys explained to me the concept of owning land. Where did your land end exactly? How many feet down when you buy that house? Does it go all the way to the other end of the other side of the earth? Because it
Yep.
was here before, like, I just, like I said, and I'm sure I'm going to be called, I'm not a communist. I just don't understand the concept of, um, or oil. Oil existed before, nobody invents that. It exists. So how can somebody say they own it? I
Yeah.
don't.
I don't like borders either. I'm a sovereign being living on this land. I should be able to
Yeah.
go wherever I want to. I shouldn't have to have a passport. I shouldn't have to have, okay, driver's license is one thing, like you're operating machinery that could hurt someone else, but I should be able to go wherever I choose to
Ooh,
because,
Jackie, everybody's going to come out after you over the whole immigration thing, probably. I'm
but
with you though. I think it's bullshit. I think if you're coming to this and you're part of this, I don't even know what to call us. I guess just awaken people. I don't even like using that term, but
me
people who
neither.
know what's going on,
Yeah.
this stuff shouldn't, these things shouldn't be offensive. And nobody's saying that, again, you have your own agency, but it's a discussion for people to critically think about things.
The
Can
fact
this
that
help place?
Yeah, the fact that people get triggered over me saying I should be able to go wherever I go is just proof that you're programmed into,
Right.
into and I'm so sorry. Like I'm really saying this with the whole heart. Like you are a sovereign being in this place. You should be able to eat, drink, and live somewhere. I'm not saying a penthouse. I'm not saying a
Right.
30,000 square foot mansion. I'm just saying as the way this place designed us, we require these things. So why do we have to pay for it? Like I could see like, hey, as part of this place, you get free, these are the vegetables you get, this is the water you're allotted, and anything else is extra. I'd be like, okay, well, at least you're getting basic food. You know what I mean? Like, here's your basic stuff. Great, cool. You get this little, bungalow somewhere, fine. But if you want something bigger or something better, you have to pay for it. Okay, I could kind of go along with that. Sure, fine. I don't like the whole consumption thing. I think that programming is so horrible in this place. But, I'm really sorry if I offended anyone, but you should be able to just go. You should just be able to travel. You should be able to live without having a job because minimum wage doesn't even allow you to buy food. I mean, you have to shop at the dollar store and grocery, and you know where that food comes from. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why are these the parameters that they put on us? And it's just to make these people richer. It's just to make them hoard. Like, they get all the good food. Even our organic food is not good for us.
No, it's not. We got some homegrown food, maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. And I'm telling you, I've never had a homegrown sweet potato before. We buy organic because of the health stuff that's going on.
Yep.
Night and day. They're
Yeah.
not even the same thing. Taste wise, texture wise, it's completely different. So even the organic food has issues with it.
I used to have chickens when we lived in California and I loved them. Like they would just garden with me. They would be out in the backyard. They were so much fun, but their eggs were phenomenal. Like uh, even an organic egg here, like it doesn't compare. Like there's just something about you loving this animal and them producing an egg for you is like, I don't know, like it's so cool. Like I can't have them here, but it is what it is. But I do miss that. Like there's something when you grow your own food, but then again, the seeds that they give us now are all GMO'd, modified. Like
I
you cannot
know.
buy good seeds anymore. And even the ones that are like, oh, they're heirloom. I'm like, I don't know. They've been modifying food for over 50 years. You cannot tell me that, and they'll say, oh, we weren't doing that in the 70s. Yes, they were.
They did it. They messed up the wheat back in the 50s.
Yeah, they
So
did.
any bread that you get is already, you know, I mean, we were doing like every once in a while we eat a Newman's own margarita pizza that was
Mm.
made in Italy with they don't use the stuff over in Europe that we use here. Night and day difference with the crust in terms of the bread.
It's funny. I've gotten to the point where I don't even stress about it anymore because I'm like, cool. It's almost all futile anyway. So I'm just like, cool, I'm going to enjoy myself because this is my last time around. If I want to eat ice cream every night, I'm eating ice cream every night. It's not going to be like,
Right.
clean, but you know what I mean? And there are times where my 14-year-old actually makes ice cream herself and I'm like, yay. But like, I'm going to enjoy as much as I can because this place is so dang depressing that if you get swallowed up in it, you just allow yourself to keep going down the hole. And again, they're feeding off of you when you do that. So
Yeah,
find the
for
joys when you
sure.
can. If you like eating pizza, eat pizza. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you. If you want to have a beer at night, cool. Just make sure that you're doing it in moderation because I do think there is something to alcohol.
Oh
Alcohol,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm not going to tell you not to. I mean, I personally don't. But every once in a while, when we get together with some friends, all right, I'll have a glass. But I don't like it. I don't like the fuzzy brain feeling. I don't like the lack of control. But like, again, you have to take you have to take the good things that do make you feel happy and at least content.
Right.
You have to do those things because otherwise you'll just drive yourself bananas. And you being in depression makes this place happy. Like, why would they let you go?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I found that this movie, especially now that we're talking about it, you know how when you talk to people about things, you're just like, oh, I never thought of that. Oh, I never
Hmm.
thought of that. Like this movie is a lot more rich. And I wanted to ask a question because the Melissa McCarthy, she's an interesting character. Sometimes in the movie, it makes me wonder if she's an archon.
Well, he develops an attachment to her. That's
Yes.
why he's stuck here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she also kind of like lures him in, like in the first scene, when they're jumping on the train, she's giving him everything he wants to make him happy. And you could tell like she's like laying down in the trampoline, and then the S character's like, I know what you're doing. And you're like, wait, what? Why is she being all passive aggressive? But no, like she's almost trying to like love
Keep
bomb
him
him.
him. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you guys think of that, but like,
I could see it. I could totally see it. Yeah.
right?
I think she represents that aspect, but also there's the other human aspect of it, a stupid human. And what I mean by that is he's getting ready to leave. She knows he's leaving. He says, I've destroyed billions of people.
Yeah.
And what does she say? Don't don't do that. And then she's like, I love you. And then he tells her, once again, hit me again, God, and put some stank on it. It's like, so you've got that component of the aspect of the archon, possibly. I think it was showing two aspects of the same thing, where she's the reason that he's detached here, but then also the element of how we keep falling for these beings or different gods. And then, oh, we love you. You can do whatever you want to me. And we do that with our partners here. How many women stay in abusive relationships? Or
Yeah.
men too. I that happens to men as well,
Yeah, it does.
where, being manipulated by, we're very good at manipulation. Men are very good at physical stuff. Women are very good at manipulation and deceit. Um, and staying in those relationships, it's the same pattern of behavior and making excuses, for, um, I don't know why we do that. I don't know why we do that. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the archon is, there is that, or just not even necessarily you could argue the archon, but also that energy of attachment,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? Like,
And don't you think it's strange as well how she knows pretty much in every life she's waiting for him to come around and realize like what he is as well. And then once he realizes it, she's like, "Oh yeah, you know, you
Yeah, because she's
remember."
the one who tells him originally what he
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
Oh,
obviously her memory wasn't getting wiped from
no.
life to life,
Mhm.
which I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And neither was that, I guess, that little girl's as well, Noelle. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What?
No L. So, people that like do all the language stuff, L in the Bible is gods, blah, blah, blah. So, no
Yep.
L, no gods. I don't know, it just triggered
Hmm.
something in my
Which
head.
an L also stands for Saturn too. So,
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, because
yeah.
that's tied to that god.
Huh.
So it's all coming around. I mean, it's funny because did you guys hear that? Ooh, that's creepy.
no.
I heard a brr sound, maybe.
No, this was my name whispered in my headphones.
Oh,
Angie
nope. I didn't.
whispered. And this, oh, that's creepy. Ugh, that was creepy. You guys, that was creepy. None of you, neither one of you whispered my name. Okay. Wow, that was weird. All right. Well, that'll be in the recording. That'll be interesting. Wow, interesting. But yeah, I did pick up on that, Jackie, because I never even
Yeah.
considered the name.
I didn't either until Devin said it, and I was like, wait, what? Noel.
And think about Christmas time. That Noel, Noel, like that's a huge thing. The song, the
Mhm.
No God. Huh.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm trying to think
Wow.
of anything else that I wrote down.
I know one thing we didn't talk about is the numerology that's used in the movie, and just like,
Okay.
the nines, sevens, and tens. So I know like uh, nines are kind of nines possess all of the other numerologies before the 1 through 8. They possess all of those qualities. They're kind of seen as the somewhat completion before you reach 10, which is beginning, end, all of
Right.
that. So I thought, seeing it in the movie was, good. And then sevens are usually uh, sevens in numerology, they're usually spiritual thinkers, knowledge. They very much like mental, kind of, they have.
That's my life path number.
Oh, is it really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very like headspacey, that um and then I said tens kind of already, the tens being the beginning and the end, which is the God, Almighty God in the movie.
That's Jackie. Jackie's a one.
Yeah, she's a 10-1. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. And thinking about it too, here you are. Like about all of this, and you're like, oh yeah, this is my last time here. Like,
For real.
all right, all right. I think that's neat.
What's yours, Devin?
I'm a 9.
You're a nine.
I'm a
Okay.
9. Yeah.
Oh my God. This is a great episode then for you. You're a
Yeah. And
nine.
then yeah.
You're a supreme
So we have a
being.
7, a 10, and a 9.
That's so cool.
Yes, we
And my
do.
favorite number has always been nine. So I was like, oh, I'm so interested.
That's funny. Yeah. No, when up until recently, I hadn't even considered the numerology aspect in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask more questions. I wish I could ask more questions about the koalas being 8s. I don't know if that was just something like silly. I don't know.
Well, in the new age, they have that whole dolphins are more
Dolphins.
spiritual.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of. I was like, oh, are they
Um,
like trying to tell us koalas are like dolphins? I don't know. But again,
Elephant. Like,
it's one of those things where you're like, is that really true? I don't know.
yeah.
I think dolphins are like amazing. They're like they do use telepathy. They're still using their stuff that I think we used to be able to do that stuff, not necessarily with sonar, but however it worked. And they throughout all of, every lifetime and all of the DNA messing that they've done in our genetics, they've messed up our own natural abilities. I mean, Devin and I have been answering each other's texts, kind of that spooky action emotion with one electron from a distance, noticing another electron. That's part of that, I think. But our cell phones and this way we're communicating is dumbed us down. The
Mm.
telephone, we don't use that stuff anymore because we don't have access to it, right? So,
You
yeah.
know, it's
And
really
maybe it was
interesting.
highlighting, maybe those things about those animals were highlighting that they're another animals now because we don't possess it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe. But koalas eat eucalyptus, and eucalyptus is
Yeah.
actually truly poisonous.
Yeah, they're high all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it does make you think because, oh my gosh, this it reminds me of this, Devin. Remember when he's in the car and he's drinking and he sees the other two versions of himself in
Mhm.
the back seat?
Yeah.
And you're just like, wait a second. And people on DMT, and again, I do not promote drug use at all,
Right.
but people that have used plant medicines have talked about seeing other realities, seeing the
Mhm.
grid over the world. Like, I think there is some truth to what they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a glimpse of how supposed, if it's real, how parallel universes work. And so like I was shown, it displayed like what looked like a dollhouse without like it actually being, it was just like different rooms, right? Or different vignettes. And they were all of my life. And it zoomed in on where I was at presently and then flipped everything around to where, after it zoomed in, then zoomed back out and kept flipping. And I was like, oh, that was that incident in my past. Oh, and then there were future events that hadn't happened yet. And then it showed me the same sort of construct, but there was like my whole room was filled with different ones. So it was all these other lifetimes that I had lived, and then it showed me that they were going on at the same time that this one was going on. That there
Mm,
was, and I'm trying to explain this to y'all the best I can, but um, and then and it wasn't like a voice or anything. The plants communicate with you again telepathically. It's not a voice, but it was like, and then all of these things are happening at once and it all collapses down into the present moment and here you are. And
mm,
at one point I was out of my body, looking at my body. That was weird. And at one point Michelle was like, I'm pretty sure you were possessed at one point. It was awful. It was worse.
God.
Like you, Jackie, I don't recommend anybody doing it, but yes, it will show you things. And it's stuff that, um, I think the reason it's so bad is because as a being, you can handle that. You can handle those things as a being, but the human mind cannot. You cannot. There's certain things that this brain is limited in terms of what it can and cannot comprehend. And so I think that's why some people don't come back from those experiences and their limits and their sanity gets pushed because you can't imagine. It breaks the mind.
yeah.
But yeah, you do see. And why do they call them machine elves?
Right.
Oh,
I didn't see any of those, but a lot of people
yeah.
report seeing them, and it's like I do agree with Ola when she mentioned, and even Tony, that it's mirrors. That was the other thing it told me too, is that this reality isn't real. It's mirrors and magnets.
Yeah.
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 And I didn't know jack shit about that. I got that directly under the experience with the mushrooms. So it's like, well, that makes sense, and that describes machinery of some sort. And if you're seeing machine elves while you're on DMT or mushrooms or what have you, then that would make sense that, yeah, of course they're machine elves.
Hmm.
They're beings put in to, you know,
Yeah,
machinery.
definitely.
And they're not nice from what I understand.
Mm-mm. They like to play tricks on you. The little tricksters. They'll do whatever they can to like trick you, belittle you, deceive you.
Yeah. So yes, I don't recommend people ever, again, have your free agency or whatever. I only did it because I was looking for healing, and I've heard people would have like on ayahuasca, like spontaneous healing. And after that experience, I was like, yeah, I'm not even microdosing with it. I don't want any part of it.
You know, and that's something else that popped up in the movie that is not really like talked about, but it's kind of alluded to where his realities were kind of like breaking down as like towards the end of the movie.
Mhm.
Like it just makes me wonder because we are also seeing the breakdown of this place.
Mhm.
And it makes me wonder if this movie is kind of saying oblivion approaches. Like they're get to me, just from what I've been researching, and I understand, I truly believe they're moving us to another simulation, a more AI, more control, another simulation. What happens? Is everybody going there? I actually don't think so. I think that's our opportunity to leave this place, whatever that looks like. I have no idea, but it makes me wonder, do you think that they were alluding to this breakdown of reality in this movie? Because his reality was breaking down. Like
Mm.
everything he thought he had control of was being removed. Like, it wasn't the same at the end of the movie. But even if you look at all three scenarios ended crazy. Like at the first scene, he's like, "What happens when I step all over this line?" And she's like, "Nothing good." And I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Like again, it's alluded to, and I don't know what you guys think because I don't know if I have a strong opinion about it, but it was just interesting to me.
Mm.
I thought of I've been wondering if the whole system in and of itself, I, if you guys, there's so many problems with AI. I mean, yeah, they're using it for a lot of different things, but there's a lot of issues with it. And I don't think it's going to work out for them because it's already not.
Well, can I
AI makes mistakes all the time.
is that purposeful? Do they show us the purposeful, horrible AI so we could be like, "Oh, it's not
Mhm.
scary. It'll be fine." Like, I think there's an agenda there.
Yeah. What is it?
That's
Real
completely
purpose?
possible
Yeah.
for sure. But also if you look at, okay, we have three countries that where the people overthrew their government in a
Mhm.
matter of days. Right now, when our politicians are lying to us, we already know they're lying as they're constructing the lie. We already know. We already know the situation that they're presenting to us isn't as it is. Their schemes are, we already see their schemes. They're telling us what their schemes are, right? Everybody will own nothing and be happy. I mean,
Yeah.
the thread of what's going on in the world, there's more and more people. That's why I'm wondering if as above, so below is true, is the very machinery and mechanism of this place busting up? I don't know. I mean, that's a possibility too. And that's why they're trying to hurry up and get us all into another simulation because the existing one is broken. It's breaking. Too many people are, I think, and I hope this is true. I think more people are going to get out of here by virtue, whether they've done the work or not. And I could be wrong on this. I'm not saying this is just my theory, but I think there's stuff in their mechanism that's not that's breaking up, and it's too many of us are waking up.
I totally agree with that. And I think the people who are part of the system, who thinks the system does no wrong, you've chosen a side, right or left. It doesn't really matter. The people that don't see that, I think they're going to go to the new simulation because I do think the people that are dying, and again, this is just me. I think the birth rates are so low is because they're not letting people back in this place. They're putting them
Mm-hmm.
there because you wake up, you're birthed into AI. How would you know any different? Because your memory wiped.
Yeah.
But I do think there are too many people waking up. And I think that's why they're going to this new simulation. Because what's the easiest way to harvest your energy when the energy is already in the machine?
Mm.
But I do
So
think many people have talked about the diverging timelines. I do think that there is a natural timeline, but you're going back to the Stone Age in a way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, theories and suppositions. I don't know.
Yeah. So then would all the people that are somewhat more tuned into thinking about the rapture or, the 5D Earth split, those people are probably going to be ushered into the new simulation.
Yeah, I do because they're like, "Oh, it's going to be uniform. Everybody's going to be happy." How do you make everyone happy?
Yeah.
You eliminate their
mm-hmm.
objectivity to question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
we're all given
Ooh, gross.
it right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
think about if I think the brain chip is first, but I think eventually we're going to get to those movies we mentioned, I think off air, the one with Bruce Willis where he goes into the simulation.
Surrogates.
Yeah. And again, I mean, they show us all these movies with humans and AI, and I think they do need some humans for rituals and stuff like that. So I don't think humanity is going away, but we're going to be so limited. And I mean, so many people are excited. Oh, digital IDs, yay, well, no. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and it's happened so fast. Like it legit so fast. And the governments around the world are just, they're pushing us into it. And what choice do a lot of people have? And they,
If they, but see, the thing is like, and I hope this goes viral. We do have a choice. If they can't kill everybody on the planet. So if every person got out of their head and quit worrying about sides and said, no, I'm not doing it. There's your resistance. But if people are just like, well, how, and I think if you look at England, they're trying to stand up against it.
yeah, but
They're trying to, so hopefully they'll pull it off, but it would take everybody, or at least a good more than 50% of us to be like, no, we're not doing this. And then they don't get it done. The only other choice they'd have is to kill us or imprison us.
Mm.
You're not going to imprison 50% of your population.
no,
You're
but they
just
could kill
not.
us off.
They
See,
could
this
what?
is the thing.
What'd you say, Jackie?
They could kill us off very
Mhm.
easily. They
Well,
could get
fine. Then
together.
then we'll try to get out of here.
Exactly. That's the answer. You have to choose yourself, your sovereign self. Because this is the thing, they own the food. And once that social credit score goes in, and I know this is very dark, I am a very hopeful person. I do believe that when they make that switch over, I think there's a window if you are when you're a present and you know who you are, you could leave just like this character did. I remove all my attachments. I'm out of here.
Mm.
But how many people are really every day doing something to say, I am a sovereign person?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's going to take that because it is, and again, this system is so genius that they don't want us to leave. And so every day when I want to check out, I'm like, nope, Jackie, just spend 5 minutes connecting with my divine spark or just being present to who I am.
Hmm.
And how many people are doing that work? And it's really sad because multiple people who are in the soul trap are saying everybody's thinking they're leaving, but this is why I'm talking about it because I feel like we are coming close to this point in our world because this world is not getting better. Doesn't matter how much. They have all the money. They have all the resources. We own nothing. Even now, even if you think you own your home, you don't. But when you see the illusion, when you know the truth, then you're like, oh, but I'm sovereign outside of this place. They make the rules, but I'm choosing the rules for myself. And you can say, I am going to exit this place. Even if you don't go to the new simulation, I do think that this place gets reset back to the Stone Age or to whatever age. It doesn't really matter. That's so much better than going into the AI digital thing. I mean, some people disagree that you either choose. I don't know. Again, this is theories and hypotheticals,
Right.
Yeah.
but I truly believe that when they make that merge over, there's going to be that window that when this system is like this person is a friggin' nuisance. They have woken up all these people. They are so awake. They are a virus to our system. We're ejecting them. And I think there's some truth to that. Like I really do. Like I love how Howdy says it, and I thought about it before he wrote it in his new book. He says, you become so toxic to the system, it spits you out. And that's the thing. You look at everything and you're like, nope, I know what they're doing here. I love that people are actually going out and protesting. But what are they gonna do? Your jobs are being taken over by AI. Like,
That's the thing. I don't know how that's going to work out because they keep talking about that. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, there won't be any point in having a business. There's no
no,
point in Amazon because nobody can buy your products. So you
yes.
guys aren't thinking this. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to go the way they think it is because it doesn't work. How's it going to work? Why would you wouldn't even need to exist as a company. So I don't see how that makes any sense.
We want to.
All right. So we'll be wrapping it up here. But towards the end of the movie, um, G is trying to remember life before, getting wrapped up in all of the earthly dramas. And he's having like a lot of trouble. He starts saying like, okay, he's really struggling to find the words, and he goes, it's warm, before Earth, it's white. And then the other nines, they're like, oh, you actually can't think it with human words and with human thoughts.
Or
Uh,
describe it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, I was going to read more of a quote, but I think that was it actually. Um, but it just makes me think like about life, prior to incarnating, and I try to find words for. I mean, of course, we don't know what it's like. Maybe it's neutrality. Maybe it is something warm and white, but definitely more than beyond human words can even comprehend or grasp. What
I
else?
don't, well, can we even really comprehend infinity even?
Yeah.
We know what the idea of that is, but can you really hold that? I mean, not, I don't think we can. I mean, we can understand the concept, but to really, you know, I watched the movie Lucy last night with Scarlett Johansson. I've seen that multiple times, and there's a line in there where he's like, "You're going to kill us, lady," when they're in the car, the cop that's riding with her, and she goes, "We never really die,"
Yeah.
which is true. So, but in terms of the movie, when it almost like once his recollection of that place is in his mind, he's able to let go because he starts talking. He says, "Yeah, um, I don't know what's going to happen," when he's telling, I think at that point it's Sarah in
Mm.
the in scene, and he's telling her, "Well, maybe I could just come back and check in." And she goes, "And then before you know it, you'll be here trying to perfect the pine cone," as I mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
And then at that point, even when her saying that to him, he realizes that he's been addicted to this place, and specifically the Melissa McCarthy character. And then he goes back home, and then the next day he's decided he's leaving, and him and Melissa McCarthy have this exchange where he admits to killing billions of people, but she's like, "Oh, I love you," and he's like, "I love you too," and then he tells her that she's his favorite, and as soon as he snaps off that band, once again he's out and going back to where he belongs, but she's left standing there with once again, another life, with a husband and a daughter and a new role. But she retains her memory of it. She remembers the whole thing. So I felt like the ending was kind of that thing of maybe that's what we're trying to get back to is our memory of where we came from. So we know where we're going when we die, and not fall for the false stuff.
It's so funny because I remember talking about this very topic when we talked about Free Guy too. And it's so hard. Like when you try to picture the real, like it's so hard to grasp something because you have no concept of that. And when people are like, "Oh, well, we're all one." And I'm like, "So I don't get to explore and have adventures without all the trauma? Like, are you kidding me? Like, what does that mean?" But, I just keep going back to my divine spark and being like, you know what, no matter how we got in here, no matter what the exit looks like and whatever the real looks like, I have to trust my divine spark wouldn't wake me up and send me all nines and all these codes if it was just this bland neutral, you know what I mean? Like you have to believe that there's something amazing there. Like, what does adventure look like without the possibility of falling off a cliff? What does having relationships does that is that where real community is? And so that's what I focus on. Like, what would community be like? And so when I try to picture the real, I picture relationships with people without all the drama and the vanity and all the manipulation. Like what is that? And I can only get a few seconds before, the matrix lies and programming come in, but like I think sometimes we believe this lie that this place is where we're meant to be. Like all these scripts, all these, the game, is so enthralling that he wants to come back. But I think that's the lie. Like, I think the other place, the real, is so much more exciting,
Hmm.
so much more adventurous. But we just can't picture that because we've been stuck here for freaking so long.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I don't know what it looks like, but pursue those glimpses of feeling and pictures that you get, because I think that's what helps us get through. It helps us stay present to what the reality is. And so, I
I
don't know.
agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
No
So
matter
do you
what
have anything to
happens,
add? Oh, sorry.
oh, so no, no, no. No matter what happens to this place, like we all have different theories, and Angie and I both said we don't know, but like be prepared. Know that you hold all the cards. I think he says that in the movie, and I wrote it down. I hold all the. Yes, you do. You might be controlled in this place, but the real you holds all the cards.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Did you have anything to add to the end, Devin?
I think that is the perfect way to end this. Do you have anything else you want to add, Angie?
No, just that in this video, just as a reminder, and any of our other videos, these are the opinions of each individual person that's on here. And we don't necessarily, I may not agree with Devin, Jackie may not agree with me. And we're probably going to put this out there at the beginning of every video just so that we're clear on this. We're not expecting, we're always advocating for people to have their own agency. You're welcome to your own opinions. You're welcome to share those opinions respectfully on the channel. But we just want to remind people that we're all trying to get there, and we may not see eye to eye. I don't agree with every person that I've watched, and I don't even agree with everybody's viewpoints. Um, necessarily, or even sometimes my own change. So we just want to remind everybody of that moving forward in the future, that we want you to have your own agency and your own opinions and come to your own conclusions
Yeah.
as a reminder. So other than that, I think I don't have any more to add. So from my
Okay.
point of view, just don't pedal loose, people.
Yeah.
Don't pedal loose.
Yeah. Jackie, do you have any closing words or anything else you want to share?
Um, I think everybody's journey here is individual. It's great to listen to people, it's great to get information, but your journey out of here is your journey out of here. And so my journey is going to look a little different.
Hmm.
Angie's and Devin. So no judgment. If you find something that resonates, let it resonate. If it doesn't resonate with you, put it to the side, let it marinate. If it needs to marinate, or if it's false, you could totally drop it. But don't don't ever sell yourself short that I don't know as much. You do have all the cards, and your divine spark, if you are paying attention to it, will get you out of here. And so that is the deepest relationship you need to have. And so trust it. Trust yourself.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. All right. So that is a wrap on the Nines review. And we want to thank Jackie so much for joining us.
Thanks for letting me come back. And I looked at myself in the screen, Maura. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
All
Thank you so
right.
much for being on.
Yeah. All right. And then we'll see everyone next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
All
Bye,
right. Bye,
ladies. Bye,
y'all.
everybody.
Bye.